out here.
Hi, my name is Carlos. I travel, I tattoo, and I take it all in. One country at a time, one tattoo at a time. Travel is what inspires me. Tattooing is what guides me. This is how I interpret the world. This is the global canvas.
Let's try that again now that my mic is on. How's it going, everybody? Good to see you. Good to see you. Justin, good to see you. Hopefully everything's going good on your end as well. Something looks different, right? This is different than how we left it. So, what we got going on here, after our last stream, which was yesterday, I believe, something just wasn't feeling right about the painting. And I realized, there's a poetic way I could answer this, and there's like the boring way I can answer it. But the poetic way to answer it would be, I realized that the AI generated image wasn't interesting enough on its own. Like, I pushed the painting as far as I could before dialing in like really like sharp focus stuff on our foreground feature, but it just wasn't feeling right. So I took a step back and I started thinking about what does it need, and it wasn't more control of the brushes or anything like that. It was literally other things to look at. It just wasn't interesting enough. So what we're looking at here is I got a bunch of like super thin masking tape out and masked off some perspective lines. We know just from looking at the perspective of the painting that it sends to the middle, like right where her heart is. That's, part of the poetry of it. But I broke out a bunch of perspective lines because I want to put in these areas up here some like wrought iron balconies coming off of the inside of whatever these properties are, whether they're businesses or apartments or something like that. I wanted to have like a little smoking ledge, So all of this math, which I can go through in a second, is literally just for a couple of little balconies. And then also we're going to straighten out, buff out some of the edges and the street line to get the perspective perfect. You've been doing good. Good to hear, Justin. Good to hear. Do you believe in aliens? You think they've been here? Do you think it's even possible for them to get here? We could chop it up. What else is new update wise? I got a bunch of new brushes. I've been talking since the first video in this series about needing to get some more blending brushes, and I finally did. And I will show you the brushes I got. I got all these brushes. This is a absurd amount of paintbrushes, freshly procured for our session here. So I will pull out a couple good ones. Let's see. I'll save the bigger ones for later, but let's use this dude for an applying brush. Oh, let's get like a round. I'll use this little round, and then something. I'll just start there. And then I need a blender, a soft blender. So of course we'll grab a nice soft blending brush. All right, set these to the side on the desk, and we'll get rock and rolling here. Yeah, up north. A lot of the stories I've heard of alien encounters takes place in the wilderness, and I don't really know if that's because they prefer to stay away from cities where people are. But I tend to think it has something less to do with that and more to do with the idea that for you to be able to see these things, You need to be open to their existence. So therefore, you need to be in a place where you're meditative, staring at the sky, and accepting of the idea that they may exist. Because then if they do, they'll say, "What's up, buddy? Sounds safe here. How's it going?" First thing I'm going to do is jump in here and carve out new lines where the wall meets the street, the alley. And so that means I need to take all of this away and make that street. I need to bring this wall down to make that match. And then this line back here, the straight line, what we're looking at, this line here and this line here just indicate how far the balconies come out from the wall. This line here is the wall, the corner of it as it goes to the cross street, as is this one, which means that if the wall and the street intersect, they intersect on these points right, where's that? Right here and right here, which means that that is now the street line, which before we were using that as like our across the street back line, but we want that to be the baseline of the street. So we got a lot of adjusting to do here. And I got no problem with that. So really for here, all I need to do is bring this gray up to that line. And then eliminate this white, or maybe bring it up a little bit higher. We'll see. I have some ideas for some other things I want to add besides these balconies, but we'll just start with these balconies and get rolling there. These are all brand new brushes, so I gotta rip these UPCs off. Was up in Canada on a black bear hunt, driving back to camp at night, had some lights keep pace with us, no matter if we stopped or floored it and then gone. So it was like matching speed. That seems pretty within the MO of everything we've seen with like not commercial, like military aircraft, like keeping speed with them, and then being able to just zip off right away, like faster than physics should allow. All right, a lot of this is like mostly dry. This stuff, all in this part of my palette. I do have the world's messiest palette. I wonder if this web series, this painting series, will ever work with the algorithm, simply based off the fact that my setup is a mess. Now, obviously, it goes without saying, but I'm still going to say it. Let me put my other AirPod back in. The areas where these lines of tape are, when I peel them off, there's going to be like an absence there that we'll have to fill, but that's fine. Yeah, no problem with that. All right, since this is just where the balcony comes out to, and this is the street, I was misspeaking earlier, I think, when I said that that had to be the street line. I think the street line's actually going to come lower now. Oh, you know what? It's approximately right there already, so I think we're good. I just think I need to bring this up this far. And that's a pretty ridiculously incorrect color on that, so let's go ahead and mix up a little bit of dark in there, make it make a little bit more sense. This is a really exciting process too, because I get to fine-tune the math. I wasn't initially expecting to do anything where I'm working with like sharp perspective. Like, you know, like the little bit of variations that happen to occur because it's a human hand moving a physical paintbrush. I'm normally cool with that, and that's like, you know, it gives it some life, but I was looking at, for reference, like not reference of this reference, but for inspiration, I should say, I was looking at some Jan van Eyck paintings, and Jan van Eyck is like mathematical perfect precision, even though he was painting, well, technically a single point perspective, but even though he was painting like realism, like in the Renaissance era, it was still like laser sharp, mathematically perfect stuff. So I want to do that as well. I like to do that. Sue me. You can see, like from my stream tonight, there's no reference. This is normally where my reference is sitting, and it's just not there because I'm going off book, maybe forever. I might be I'm finding out in this moment speaking to you that I might be done using my reference on this painting, and it might straight up be, it might straight up be imagination from here on out. That's dope. That's really good to know. All right, I'm gonna bring this back. I saw Justin, you pinged something. I just want to finish brushing this out first. Yes, sir. Me and grandfather are both puzzled about it. You know what's cool about that is you have a corroborating witness. Something that eludes a lot of seers, a lot of witnessers. I don't know what you call them. I don't know. What do you call yourself? So I know that this is where the street is going to go. So that now this window that used to be part of my wall coming this way is going to be open street behind it. So I will change these colors to be more of like this warmer tone out here. Right? Yeah, because this is where the balcony comes to. So the balcony is going to overshoot. So this is part of my street now. And that also means that my street is going to come to like here. But a little bit more straight. So straighten that out. And it's okay if it buffs out, like if it's a little ambiguous where that line is, because we need that depth to work, and if there's a hard line then it pulls it way too close into the foreground. I hope I'm narrating this okay. I hope you understand what I'm going for here. Alright, but first I'm going to finish filling this up. Alright, so already we've just widened our alley. Okay. So now I have that line tuned and that line tuned. And these other perspective lines that I have here with the tape, they're going to be able to inform some other things like doorways, windows, boxes, anything that I have in this alleyway scene. These will help. So I'm not going to peel them all off tonight, but once we start working with the areas where the barricades are, or the balconies are going to go, then I will start peeling those off so I can work on those balcony areas. I got to bring this down and sharpen this up, so let me do that really quick. Justin says, he was driving and he has only gotten older, but still asks me about every year at deer camp when I see him. That's cool. I do still tattoo in Michigan. We owned our studio here for many, many years, like 7 years, but then we sold it earlier this year so that we can embark on some world travel. And these oil painting videos are mostly it's content to supplement my travel channel, where we go from country to country and interview tattooers and learn more about the state of tattooing globally. So if you aren't aware of that, please check out the other content on this channel, because that content is like the big dream that we're chasing. So right now we're back in Michigan for at least 6 months February is when our lease is up. We got a short-term lease, a 6-month lease, and then once that is up, we can determine whether or not we're still hanging out or if it's time to hit the road again. And I'd like to go check out some places in South America and South Africa in 2026 and get some information about there. If you've seen any kind of Anthony Bourdain type show, like that's what we're producing. So it's gonna have a lot more social angle than just about tattooing. The tattooing is an in for me to learn about these other cultures. Just, I don't know, are you aware that that show exists, or that content exists on my channel? Or that I gave up my tattoo studio and sold my house to go do that? Okay, I'm gonna tune up these edges really quick, and then we'll start playing with balcony stuff. Let me bring back in some deeper, darker gray. It's not terrible, it's not the best, but it'll at least get rid of those muddy colors that are right there. Sometimes I make laser noises. I'm focusing. And I want to use a different brush to bring those dark tones down in, just so I don't get this one too messy. I don't want to mess up 14 brushes. I used to, when I used to paint, I would have a fistful of brushes. Like they'd be like, and I would have one for each color, for each effect that I'm going for. But I'm trying to fine tune the game a little bit better. Don't know how well I'm doing with that, but I'm trying to. I'm very excited to see how these new perspective lines, being mathematically perfect, make this painting feel. Like it might be like an insanely smart move that I should have done from Jump Street and I didn't even think about. But either way, we're all gonna find out together. I'm adding a little bit of black to knock down the value of these new brush strokes that I just dropped in here, because I want them to like it's hard to say. As it goes backwards, I need it to like start to dissipate, right? So by adding a little bit of black, it starts me at like a more neutral place, so that when they move backwards, they start to get progressively less chromatic. I'm using the term correctly. I believe I am. I'm an art history major, not an art technique major, but I play one on YouTube. God, I'm so excited to work on this piece. I'm gonna drop a little alizarin crimson. Man, alizarin crimson, like, it warms stuff up, but holy smokes, does it ever make things tricky. Like, it is a very staining pigment. It really likes to blend with whatever you got on your brush. Alright, that's good enough for getting that line together. We have a lot more stuff that's going to go in front of there in my imagination, so that's perfectly fine to leave those tones how they are. We'll blend the rest of it later. If I have any story in my life, it's I will do the rest of it later. Or that I will somehow get around to something. Okay. So now we need to focus hardcore on some mathematics here. I never promised there'd be no math. Okay. So this line here is indicating the edge of the alleyway, where this wall terminates and then it turns, onto the cross street. These lines that come right inside are where my balcony is going to terminate. And I have an angle line here and here that shows the top rail, like that you put your hand on. It comes here, and then the balcony will come straight down here, and then this double line that comes up and over on either side. That's like the platform, but also with some outside fascia. So let's. Oh man, I can't. If I did solid black on these, it would like just jump straight off the canvas. So I'm gonna go in with a lighter gray tone, and then. Oh man, maybe I should do this with a round. I'm gonna do this with a round brush. I'm gonna go in with a lighter gray tone, and then I can darken it as it comes into the shadow of the alleyway. I realized for somebody that's been doing a lot of work on this YouTube channel to be able to talk to people, that I really shouldn't be drinking bubbly water right before I go on air. Because I burp quite a bit. My whole channel is burp. Alright, so go ahead and come inside here. And then once I have these lines in, I could peel this tape off and then really dial it all in, you know? Because this is mostly for me to just get the math committed. And then after that, I can get back to the other half of my brain and just work on the art part of it. I'm gonna try to move my hand out of the way of the camera. I find I do that all the time. I just get like so into the paint and I forget the rules of streaming. Speaking of the rules of streaming, I am so aware, acutely aware, is that the term? That I need to get some better camera equipment so we can have like sharper picture for you, but in due time. Step one is to make the stream successful, and then after that I can worry about getting new equipment. Oh, trying to talk about has a delay, yeah. Sorry about that. There's nothing I can do about that. I don't know how far the delay is, so there is that too. So what we're looking at here is this is the like fascia part of the platform of the balcony. This is the handrail, and then this is the balustrade, is what it's called. This is our corner. I'm just gonna start dropping in some straight black because my black is mostly mixed with liquid right now anyway, so when I peel this tape off it's just gonna be mostly transparent. So this is, I'm gonna do it about the same width as the platform fascia, but this will be balustrade because this fucking sucks. Go ahead and move that. Get a better one out. I need to watch my language on here, even though I mark that these videos aren't labeled for kids. I feel like I'm continuously getting shadow banned, or at least getting dropped from stuff because I swear too much. That's better. Better. Alright, so I got that shape, boom, boom, boom. This underneath here is actually the grate, the platform, the base, the part that you stand on. So that's gonna get mostly filled in there. So I'm seeing you sold and packed your bags. Still have to finish my bag with you. I follow you on Facebook. I just don't post a lot. I never post on Facebook. Like, it's insane. I used to, and then there was like some political stuff that happened with Facebook that was just, you know, across the line. Like I was like, I can't support this anymore. No shame on anybody that uses Facebook. It was just a personal choice of mine. I remember what it was, but I'll save that for a different conversation on a different day. Okay, so now I got that blocked in. I'm going to come over and start blocking in the balcony on the other side here. And it's going to be similar, so this will be the handrail, top of it, if you will. And then on the inside of my masking tape, straight down here, is the corner vertical post. Which means that this here is the fascia of the platform. I want this to all be wrought iron because I keep imagining that this scene is taking place in New York City in Times Square area, like outside of just basically a back alley of a theater. And she's just training some dance moves for like a ballet. So that makes more sense for this to just be like a wrought iron balcony, rather than like nice cement and wooden posts or anything like that. It's definitely not going to be it's not like a high-end residential balcony. This is more of a commercial fire escape balcony. Alright, so I'm going to fill in here, solid black in here. Cool. Justin, remind me where we left off on your back. It's been a minute. Alright, I like how wide the like steel corner support is here, but I don't like it on the other side. It's just way too fat over here. So I'm gonna grab a brush and lift that back out essentially. Just like this, just straight up erase it. This is why I love oil paints so much more than acrylic, and people are constantly like arguing oil versus acrylic. I can keep this as wet as I want for as long as I want, and then I can control that. Like I use liquid as a fast drying agent so I could do these streams, daily if I decide to. I need everything, the topmost layer to be dry before going back into it. Which is what you could do with acrylic. Obviously, acrylic's drying as fast as you're putting it on, essentially. But having said that, I get to choose whether I keep the paint wet or dry in that session, like while I'm doing these brush strokes. If I did this in acrylic, it would already be dry to the touch. So, was it Chroma did a Jekyll and Hyde skull theme? Just need the other one done. Oh, okay, sweet. So yeah, it has been a while. That's been over 7 years. I just see your name all the time, so it feels like we go way back. But yeah, I remember hanging out, chatting with you, mostly about hunting. I probably asked you a million questions about hunting because I'm interested in it, but it's not something that our family does. So normally hunting is a patrilineal thing, and my dad never hunted, my grandpa never hunted. It just isn't in us, So I'm always wanting to. I want to have every human experience before my time on Earth is over, All right, so it gets a little murky up here because I just pulled all that white up to frame out the new geometry of the street. But once I pull this tape off, I'll be able to see where that balcony is. So we have boom, boom, boom. I need a vertical where it attaches to the wall here. Cool. Okay, so I still need to put like the balustrades in. Boom, 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 boom. But I might use probably not more masking, but maybe like a ruler to cut those in, and I don't have that with me right now, I don't think. So instead of sending you guys a commercial, I'm just gonna save that for after the tape comes off, and then I can deal with it. Sound good? Sound good. Now, let's see what else I can do with the perspective lines with this tape before I start yanking this stuff off. I know I want to put a door and a window over here. This window I'm going to straighten out more, and I want to put a door over here. So like door, window, but I don't need to touch it yet. I don't need to do anything with it. Let me sharpen out that corner where the street is, and then I can start yanking tape off. And I can always retape this stuff, you know. This only took me like an hour to drop all this tape on before the stream started, so if I wanted to, there's nothing stopping me after we yank this tape off and work on these balconies. There's nothing stopping me from waiting for it to dry and retaping for the next session. And I know where my center point perspective is. It's like dead center in the middle of her heart, so everything emanates from there, so it's pretty easy to figure out these perspective lines. I'm really happy with figuring out these new lines for my alley and whatnot. I feel like I'm going to want to tighten that one up just a little bit, so just kind of, let's see. I'm going to put just a little bit of like yellow ochre just to carve in the straight line here, and then we'll blur and buff it out after we remove our tape. Okay, so I think that's all I needed to get those balconies in. And these lines, boom, boom, boom. So yeah, we should be good to go. All right, let's do some satisfying tape pull, some satisfying tape peel. So I know which ones I like. The one's my last painting session I did. I forgot to clean my brushes, so I gotta soak them in brush cleaner restorer, and then grab a knife and scrape out all the chunky oil paint. All right. For how satisfying this will actually be, it might be not interesting at all. I should use a palette knife. Yeah, it'll help me lift it. I had my last session that I did some masking. I did the same thing, except it wasn't as interesting to peel the tape up because it was like straight up like masking tape that you would use for painting inside your house, and it stuck so hardcore that the process of peeling it off was like annoying looking rather than exciting or satisfying. Cool. Cool. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. It's insane looking down here. Like all these like cables just dangling. Once I get these two verticals off, I can start cleaning up some stuff here. entirely... Oh no, the illusion has been broken. There's actually a wall behind this canvas panel. I'm going to subscribe to someone else. Yeah, shit, that wasn't ever going to come off. Okay. Alright, cool. Drop this back up here so we can see. Now, we have the indication of where these balconies are going to go. And we have our new lines here for our street. And I can see a bunch of lines from the masking tape that we got to clean up. So we're going to go ahead and clean those up. Message you as for some reason not posting my answer to hunting. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, don't know. Sorry, man. Let me check on my... Yeah, I don't have it on my YouTube chat at all, so I think just send me a DM or a private message or whatever. Alright, now I got this nice blending brush, my soft blender. I'm going to come in here and clean up a lot of these lines. Because my chat window, I'm going to mute it for just a second here. Because my chat window is covering that, it was hard to see these ones. So this is clearly from where the masking was at and the oil paint went over. So we're just going to grab a blending brush and buff those right out. And I might actually grab the original. Look at that. Oh no, I already got it all murky. No, here it is. This will be easier. Here we go. Because really it wasn't like the exact pigment that mattered in this move. It was just getting those new straight lines on there. We're going to have to repaint all this cement anyway. So I'll just use this guy, crack these lines out of here. Oh, I can't believe that dried already. I used so much liquid, I think. Like normally I'd be able to use a blending brush and just buff this stuff right out, but yeah, it's dry. It is pretty hot in here. This room that I'm streaming in, I have my fan on, so that's causing things to heat up. Who's to say? This is just mixing on the canvas, the surface. It's a prepared masonite, but you know what I mean. 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 I keep going over the hair and then putting it back in and over and in and over and in and over in just to make sure that the tones get behind it, because I can always put another layer on top. That's not a problem. Getting behind something is a little bit trickier. Alright, so grab this blender again and start removing some of these lines. Cool. This little bit over here. Just gonna buff that up and down. Soften this edge up too, because this is way far in the distance. We don't want to see that sharpness of that corner. We want this to be out of focus because the depth of field on the camera, or the vision, if you will, is far back there. So make sure to keep that nice and suggested, but not described. All right. Looking good, getting better. Pan looks great too. Oh, thank you. Oh, gotcha. Oh, Cadet, sorry, I didn't see who it was at first. Let me throw our chat back up here. How you doing, Cadet? What was your tattoo? What'd you get? Tell me all about it. I'm a biggest self-critic, right? or biggest critic is the self. I don't know. There's a phrase in there somewhere. But after the last stream, I was like, I think I hate this painting. But also, it's like, this is part of it, right? The whole thing is to fail in front of people and have the courage to keep moving. So that got me to sit around thinking maybe what I should really be doing is, focusing on what does it need and not am I faithfully representing the reference. And as soon as I thought about that, I was like, dude, I just need to create a world in this painting. So the first thing we're doing, Cadet, is we're adding these balconies up here, just from imagination. Where we might be done with the reference entirely, or maybe we'll just reference it towards the end. Excuse me, but yeah, this is just going to be way more exciting now that I can just create a little universe that this ballet dancer lives in. Got a variation of the Aquabats logo, if you know that band. Kind of my thing. It's their bat mascot surfing. Awesome, dude. Very cool. I do know that that's your thing because you have a lot of art. If I know who I'm speaking to, if I'm not, then I'm mistaken entirely. But I believe you have a lot of art that you've made that's on Instagram, including a painting of my brother John. That's awesome. I'm very happy for you. That's a great first tattoo because if I know who I'm speaking with, you're a very big fan. So that's great. Also, tell me who the hell Aquabats are because I have no idea. It sounds like a punk or a ska project, but I really don't know. If I'm on the right track, then cool. And if not, then beat me up in this alleyway when we see each other. Right now I'm just kind of indicating this edge of the street is and where that wall hits. Okay, so now I get to come back in and work on these balconies. Algebra, what's up? I heard Aquabats and came running. Guess they're ska, very fun. Is it an older ska band or is it a new ska band? We were having a discussion at the tattoo studio about ska, and we were talking about Real Big Fish, obviously, goats. But I didn't know if ska was what's the phrase where it's something that's of an era and only of that era, and then just didn't make it out or survive, whatever term you want to use. I like this brush because it's too soft for what I'm doing, so I need something that's a little bit more oomph to it. Yeah, that's got some tension on those bristles. So what I'm doing right now is just removing the area where the masking tape was. I'm just gonna paint through that. We're treating this like it's its own little portrait. Like this is this balcony is its own feature. So we're gonna do all the same stuff that we would with a portrait, or like with our foreground figure. We're gonna do the block in, we're gonna refine it, we're gonna do hyper detail, we're gonna do lighting and texture and all that stuff. But first thing I need to do is just make sure that it's all where it's supposed to be. So that's what today's session is, just making sure that this is where it's supposed to be on the wall, mathematically sound, and then after this layer dries, we'll be able to go in and make it look really nice. Cadet and Algebra, you missed the beginning of the stream when we were talking about aliens, and Justin said he had an encounter. I've had experiences that I can't call aliens because I don't believe in them, but they're definitely experiences that I have yet to explain in any other way. One of the most frightening things that's ever happened to me is I saw a UFO, but not a UFO like a flying saucer. This looked more like what a drone would look like if it was delivering an Amazon package, but this was 15 years, or maybe not 15, this is like 10 years before the technology even existed. And I was driving on the freeway heading towards work, and on the opposite side, so like congruent with the traffic coming this way, there's what looked like a massive, maybe like 6 foot tall metal wasp, and it was like leaned slightly forward, and the bottom of it was like sticking out, and then it had see if I can move my hands like this to the camera. So we had like a set of I guess what would be like the blades of a copter, but it was like a flatter panel here and then a big piece here, and it was kind of like angled forward, and it was just going, and there was no sound, and it wasn't like this thing was like 300 yards away. This was across traffic and up, and I never, like, I have to draw pictures of it or create it in Halo Forge to like show off like what it actually looked like, because it was unlike anything I've ever seen, and unlike anything I've seen since then too. It was very industrial looking, like militaristic looking. And it was just so frightening seeing something that unexplainable in that moment. So that was my experience. Let's see. Oh man, I'm missing a lot of the chat here. What we got? Real big fish used to be my thing too, but I'm too grown for that now. No, Scott, still a thing. It's just underground. Awesome. Believe in aliens because you are one. Okay, I'll take Algebro's confirmation to heart. I'm somewhat of an alien believer. Jesus, weird. Yeah, it was very, very uncomfortable. And again, like I had said, I don't believe in it. Aliens, so to speak, but it was a UFO, as in it was unidentified, and it was flying, and it was objectively right there. So take that however you will. I don't know who has and who has not seen my content, like through like my shorts and my long format videos, as well as these oil painting videos. So if I chew my cabbage twice, I'm so sorry. But there's a short that I put on YouTube that explains this. I have what's called aphantasia, and it's the inability to picture things in my mind. Like if I close my eyes and I try to think of something, it's just pitch black. Well, it's not really pitch black. It's like this weird brown color. But I only learned as an adult that people can see pictures in their head, and that it's very useful for artists to visualize, something that they're going for, like in an art piece. And it was tragic when I found out, and I kind of mourned the loss of something I didn't even know I had until that moment. But I only bring that up now to say that I have a picture in my head. I was about to use that language of everything and where it's going to go, but it's not like a picture in my head. It's not like I can visualize it, see it, and be like, oh yes, and that's where that goes. It's just like a concept. Like I know conceptually the things that I want to see in this alleyway, and I know how to make it without being able to see it, if that makes sense. Way more detail than I got. We just had lights with no sound. It's just above the tree line. Was it, Justin, was yours like a sphere? This is something that I see more and more frequently, is spheres and orange light. And I wasn't being facetious earlier when I was describing, or not describing, but when I was saying, yeah, if you're open to it, these things will show up. That's what I've heard from people who can almost like literally call these things to them. You know, they could sit, focus, meditate, be open, let these things know that they're of no threat, and then just one day you start seeing the orange spheres zipping around, you know? Almost like, you know, they would like to be seen, but they don't know if it's safe to be seen. And I also know that all of this sounds kooky, but kooky's fine with me. I can do kooky. I don't believe in it though, and I'll explain why. I don't believe in the physics of it. I think it's impossible to get across a universe because the amount of radiation that exists in outer space. Look at me, I'm just making up support beams for this now. Because of the amount of radiation that exists in outer space, I think it's impossible for anything fleshy to survive. And it's just how I feel. If we want to keep UAP and the U as for unexplained or unexplainable, totally into it. Aliens from another planet, I think it's more likely that they're time travelers from this planet. And the worst part about that is if they're time travelers, that means time travel exists, and that is horrific. Because if time travel exists, that means we are already living in an altered timeline. What, why, or how? I don't know, but all the horrible stuff that happens in this world, somebody decided it was better than whatever they're coming from. And knowing human nature, it's more than likely just all about some money. That's how that goes. White light in a row, roughly 10 to 15 apart. Yeah, there's so Justin, let me get your opinion on this, because you're an up north hunter. Bigfoot is kind of in a similar category as these UFO alien sightings, right? Have you seen, or do you have a connection to the lore of the Bigfoot? Also something I don't believe in, but I'm not going to make this entire stream about telling you what I don't believe. I'll tell you what I do believe. I believe art is everything, so I'm going to continue making it as long as possible. I hope these supports are load bearing. I'd hate to invent a world and then have it not be safe. There's something, somebody clip that, there's something profound about that. Unlab this saran wrap in my arm is so uncomfortable. Oh yeah? What part of your arm is it on? And is it actually saran wrap, or is it Sandoderm? Is there an adhesive component to it? And when you say you just got it, when did you just get it? Did you just get your first tattoo today? Did you get it within the last few days? Because I could educate you from afar on how long you should keep that bandage on. Do believe in him or her. I wonder, upper arm, shoulders, got like 45 minutes. Oh, okay, cool. Right on. Welcome to the club. Healing is a big part of tattoo, so do whatever your artist told you and do it right. you can't take it off yet. That's my suggestion from afar, from not seeing it or knowing what's going on. Whether it was a temporary bandage like a saran wrap, which I don't like using food cling, but if it was saran wrap or a Sandoderm, you're still going to want to leave it on for that first hour to 2 hours. Alright, I'm using a palette knife here as like a straight edge. We'll see if it works. If it doesn't work, then I'll just grab something else later. But I want to do like 3 balustrades here. But I want them to be straight, so let me see if I can do it like this. No, that was whack. I'll just do it by hand and I'll sharpen them later if I need to. Does anybody in our chat, like what's our age groups? You don't have to if you don't want to, but are we all similar age or are we younger? Because I feel like the opinion on these supernatural things definitely is generational, and I would like to know where everybody stands. Where I put my hand is like so important, and I'm so bad at it because I'll just drop it directly into some wet paint and be like, oops. Sorry if I'm crowding the painting on these lines, but I need this to be as straight as I can get away with, and it's kind of hard to do it where I can show it off on the camera. Hopefully you were able to catch that. If not, my bad. These look very dangerous right now, these balconies. You can just walk and slide right under. We are not of similar age. 18, okay. Good night, talk to you later. Oh yeah, oh thank you so much, man. Have a great sleep, Justin. Hopefully I can see you another time soon. Justin 40, okay, I'm 40 as well. 18. 50% believe in supernatural stuff. Like on the off chance that stuff is real, I won't be that surprised. That's a good take. Not only like cautious, being cautiously, I was gonna say optimistic, but that's not even the word I'm looking for. Open to it, if you will. Not only is that a good thing to have in you, but that's a good philosopher of you. Because philosophically, you know, all I know is that I don't know anything at all. Alright, we're going to put some balustrades in here, and I'm going to just indicate where they're going to go first, and then I'll pull some straight lines up. Try my hardest to do this where you guys can see it on camera. I also want to show you something really quick that's kind of funny that, so if you can see me here, if I wasn't streaming right now, I'd be holding my panel like this, and I'd just be like, just draw like I'm drawing on a tablet, because that's my natural form. Now you got me all leaning in super tight, like ee. I tried all sorts of different camera setups in learning how to do live streaming stuff. And one of them, I even mounted a camera to the canvas panel itself. Well, I put the canvas panel on a backing. Look how crooked that is, holy shnikes. And then mounted the camera to it, so if I had to tilt it, like, you would never know, but I could move it around however I needed to. It was fun, but it was just a little cumbersome. It's like I'd rather sit and do it this way in front of you guys. Alright, I'm gonna come over here and draw these ones in first. That way I can get a better idea of what's straight up and down. And I can always cut in the middle of these with more paint later. More paint later, later. The story of my life, later. Where are we at our time? Oh, we already went over. Okay, that's fine. There's no producer attached to this. It's just you and me. Alright, so what I'm doing is I found where my center beam goes, and I went the 50% mark down this way, boom, 50% mark down that way, and then a halfway between each of them. That gives me all my banisters. Or balustrades. I'm sorry. Balustrades. I'm sorry. Cadet, you have no idea how bad my posture is. I look like a shrimp. Grew up believing in Ouija boards and superstitions and all that junk. Don't really believe in it so much anymore, though. Ouija boards, it's an interesting one, because to me it's along the same lines as tarot, where there is something you can get out of it, but similar to what I was saying earlier about the aliens and like being open to it, you have to be open to it, right? To me, it's just a method of analyzing your world, which is what philosophers do, but we just do it differently, right? So if like you get to become introspective with a scrying mirror or something like that, then that's how you get introspective and you receive the signals of information of, you know, what could and might well be. It's just like saying like science and religion are not necessarily at odds with each other. They kind of reinforce each other, though both sides hate to admit it. We always want to be at war with each other for some reason. So we create these divisions and turn them into like lifelong pursuits. Like, who cares? We're all trying to achieve the same goal. We're all trying to answer the same questions. All right. So now we have the indication of where some... I can't believe I did that so crooked. I just wasn't paying attention. Get the indication of where these balconies are going to be. So what we'll do, I'll sharpen them up off camera because it's just going to be boring. And then on our next stream, we can... I just realized I never got bad ADHD. It's not bad. I'm not ashamed of it. I just realized that gets in the way of what I'm trying to do sometimes. On our next stream, we can add some more elements. Should we do that? Should we add more? Maybe, yeah. Next stream we can do like some doors and windows. I will clean these up a little bit off camera. Not too much though. I might put like some highlights or maybe tune the darkness going in the distance, but no, that's a major move. If I change the darkness, I'll just clean them up, that's all. I can't wait to hang with Algebra in real life again. I'm gonna summon a demon. So yeah, I think doors, windows, that'd be a good move for our follow-up stream to this one. I'm trying to make the next stream mystical for being a metal shows, just not checking notes. So let me tell you something else. Well, thank you, Cadet, and it's nice of you to say. Let me tell you something else. Sometimes I do these streams without doing them live, or not streams, but I'll paint and then they're just drops, they're uploads. So if you see an upload and you don't recall it, you may not have missed anything. It could have just been something I was producing where I wasn't doing a live stream of it, and it was just, my off hours drops. I can't always stream. Sometimes I just have to record what I'm doing and then upload to the channel. So you may have missed things, you may not. Who's to say? I don't know. But it makes this whole thing feel like a real dream and a real possibility to have human beings chatting with me right now. That's insane. I already, our channel has, and this might not seem like a big number to people, but it's really big to me. The channel already has like 92 followers. 92 people are like, yeah, I'll tune in and check this out. I mean, that's awesome. Absolutely awesome. We need to get our subscribes way up so that we can monetize the channel. Not you don't have to pay any money, but so that YouTube will give us, ad revenue on the channel. So we got to get as many people following as possible. But 92 is like, that's so cool. That's so cool. I remember there's a streamer I follow. If you like video game stuff, I'll give him a subscriber a follow. His name's Rusty Champagne. He's a little bit older than me, maybe like 10 years older than me, 15 years older than me. And he plays mostly simulator games, and I can't get enough of it. I've just been obsessing over these boring, remedial, mostly work simulator games. And I watch him every single night. He streams regularly, and my wife and I started following him, and I remember the day he hit 80 followers, and it was huge for him. And now he's at like 18,000 followers, and this is his full-time job, streaming video games. It's beautiful. It's such a cool dream to see come true for somebody. And that's what I want to do. So hopefully we can make that happen. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for being part of the chat. It's been very cool. It's so cool. I completely understand the work simulator type. Yeah, it's fun, man. It's definitely fun. But I will see you next time. Don't know when it's going to be, but keep your eyes peeled. I do hope that the notifications always ping. And I produce more shorts than I do long form. But the long form video, the documentary series, The Global Canvas, that's like the big passion. This oil painting stuff is so that we can hang out. So come back soon, hang out soon. Thanks for looking. Peace.